And hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast, Retro Life for You, movies of the 1980s and the 1990s. My name is Chris Adams. I'm host of the show, but my name this week is Senex Dormians, and we'll explain this in a minute. Sitting alongside me here today, I have Felonius Inmatus. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, we can go with
Yeah.
that. I was gonna say real quick too, these JBL headphones I got are super bassy. That's what JBL is known for, but I mean, dang,
Yeah.
that intro sounded disgusting.
Got a little more
Loved it.
bass to my voice now,
Little
too,
more
don't I?
bass,
Yeah.
bass. Yeah.
Or is it like
So
a or is it like bass?
bass, bass. DJ Magic Mike, make the car go boom.
Oh my god, you're terrible. You're terrible. Everybody just turned us off just then. Thanks a lot.
Hey, what's happening, cynics?
Not
How
much
was your week?
felonious.
How was your week last week?
Well, considering that I slept through our normal podcast recording time and missed everything, I'd say it was restful, but not made me very unhappy to say the least.
Yes, but we
So
may not have had as much fun as we've had picking our names out this week.
that is true. But look, here's what I'm going to do. I know everybody listens like, what in the world are they talking about? I fell asleep. We normally record on Sunday, so
Mhm.
this should have released this previous Thursday to today. Today is Sunday the 16th.
This was going to be our so we've been testing out some formats and some fun things and doing double features, 30-minute double features over our 45 to 60-minute long podcast. And this was going to be our actual Valentine's Day
Yes,
episode
it would have released the day before Valentine's Day.
the day before.
Right.
And it's going to be our full episode on one particular movie.
But
But
somebody, namely me, fell asleep and did not wake up till 1 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, the
Imagine
foot is
me.
in the other shoe now.
Yes, but look, here is what we're doing for those of you who are listening right now. When we are done with this tonight recording, I am going to go ahead and prepare it for upload, and I'm going to upload it by tomorrow on Monday. It's just going to be late. So if you're
Monday.
listening to this is a late release from last Thursday for Valentine's Day. And this upcoming Thursday, we'll still have our little double feature of the next one that we're doing. So
Yes.
we are dedicated, people, dedicated.
Dedicated. What what spectacular movie had to have the full hour slot for the special Valentine's Day movie?
Well, I'm going to leave this to you because this is one of your, according to you, top 10 favorites of all time for
It
you.
is. It is. If I was to sit down and make a top 10 list of my favorite top 10 movies, this movie would definitely be somewhere jumbled up in that list. And it is the excellent released in 1998 movie because we're doing we're crossing decades now, but it is starring Ralph Fiennes and Gwyneth Paltrow. uh,
Joseph Fiennes.
Joseph Fiennes, I'm sorry, why'd I say
Yeah.
Ralph Fiennes? That's Voldemort.
Yeah.
Joseph Fiennes, his little brother.
I was
uh,
going to bring that up later. Do we get Voldemort's brother in this movie?
yeah, but Shakespeare in Love, and it also has the incomparable Jeffrey Rush. You may know him as Captain Barbossa,
Oh, and the great Pepper Potts.
the
Gwyneth
Great Pepper
Paltrow.
Potts, Ronald Weasley's dad. there's
Uh,
there's a few
well,
people in here.
yeah,
Ben
there was a few
Affleck.
people. I was surprised. I've never seen the movie before. This was the first for me.
Hmm.
So Travis loves it when I get my first in,
Yes,
especially if he's seen it already.
it's also fun how different how to see. It's fun for me doing the podcast with you too, and us having that. Even though it's small, it's relatively small age difference. We do have that little bit of an age difference between us,
A little bit.
and and seeing the difference in movies that I absolutely love and movies that you absolutely love, and how different they are, and then the movies that we come together on that nobody can deny are some of the greatest movies of all time.
Right.
Which that part of it's fun for me.
Right. Now we've had a couple of them that you've thrown out there that I wasn't sure about that I've actually liked, and I did like this
Hmm.
movie. It was
Yeah,
good.
but you didn't love it.
I mean, it's not my top 10 favorites. I have nothing against it. I did like
Oh,
the
well, that's
movie.
fine. It can
You
be in a
know,
top 100.
it's a movie that I would watch again if it was
Oh,
on. I would watch it again.
good enough.
So I'll throw that out there. I tell you what though, it was hard for me. I don't know Jeffrey Rush as anything but Captain Barbossa,
Yeah.
and
Was he not the best in the movie though? He's my favorite character in the movie.
is he the one that kept saying it's a mystery?
Yes.
That's him, isn't
Yes.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a mystery.
I don't know.
Um,
It's a mystery.
yeah, it's hard for me to see him as anything but Captain Barbossa. And for the longest times in my mind, I was thinking that doesn't look anything like Voldemort,
Oh,
and it's because it's not. It's not. It's
it's
Ralph
not.
Fiennes. It's
It's
Joseph
Ralph Fiennes.
Fiennes. So,
So let's let everyone know. So the movie, I'll just give you a quick overview and then let Chris read the I guess the storyline or the overview or whatever. But it's basically and the thing this is the thing that makes me love it so much, along with some other things. We'll get deeper into that, but it's basically the story of it's a fictional story
mhm.
of how the William Shakespeare wrote Romeo and Juliet to mirror his own life experience, which is it's actually really cool. So Ethel and the pirate's daughter, you know,
What a name right there, man.
or Ethel and what? No, it was no, it was Ethel the pirate's daughter, not Ethel and the pirate's daughter. It's Ethel the pirate's daughter.
I believe it changed name 2 or 3
It
times.
did, it did.
You know, it was something else for sure.
But the characters in it were real people. Jacob Marlowe was actually a very real person. It's written during the time period that we don't know much about Shakespeare's life, so that's another thing that kind of brings the romanticism into it. Uh, Historians love this movie for the same reasons that I do. A lot of them they do pick apart, at the fictional pieces of it because Shakespeare was inspired by Marlowe. Shakespeare has been accused sometimes of having what we call these days a ghostwriter on
Mhm.
certain projects, and Queen Elizabeth would never be caught outside of or in a public playhouse. Women were still not allowed, which they actually I don't get that one. I read that one, but I don't get it because they represented that during the show. Women were not allowed to be actors during that time
Right,
period either
right.
on the stage. So, but anyway, but okay. So did you do you have the overview?
It's just a basic one.
Yeah.
The movie released in 1998, both a critical and commercial success. It grossed approximately 289 million worldwide, which significantly surpassed its $25 million production budget. It's listed as a romantic comedy drama that imagines a young William Shakespeare finding inspiration for Romeo and Juliet through a secret affair with Viola de Lesseps or de Lesseps. Forget even how
The
she pronounced
Lesseps.
it. De Lesseps, okay.
The Lesseps.
It was a noble woman aspiring to act. She really wanted to act more than anything in the world.
She wanted poetry
So,
in her life.
poetry in
I
her
shall
life.
have poetry, goodness.
That is
Anon,
right.
goodness.
The film explores the themes of love and art and challenges of creative expression in the Elizabethan era. So
Yeah.
that is the pretty much description it gives you for it. It goes down the main cast and some of the notable works. Like we mentioned, Gwyneth Paltrow already. She played Viola de Lesseps.
Hmm.
Um, she earned herself an Academy Award for Best Actress in this movie.
She did great, to be honest.
She
Gwyneth
did.
is one of those that I've never like been in love with, but she's always I've liked everything I've seen her in, and
Yeah, she
she
does
isn't.
have something about her acting. I
She
mean, she
is a
does do.
handsome she is a handsome woman, but
But I don't, I do love her as Pepper, but it took Tony to make Pepper. You know what I mean? Like their thing
Yeah,
together is.
I mean, yeah, I
She has
mean,
an innocence about
anybody
her.
anybody could have played Pepper Potts probably. I mean, it's not just that it's not
Yeah,
like she brings the character to life for us or anything. But this
I'll
character
agree
in
with
this
that.
movie, I feel like she did a really great job bringing it out and everything. So I no problem whatsoever with her in this movie at all.
I think what I like about Gwyneth is she has an innocence that she conveys. Like her characters project almost I would say use the word childlike. The way she smiles, the way her eyes are, her features.
Yeah.
I guess lend to that too. The kind of cartoony eyes when she smiles, and But yeah,
Does it kind of remind you like Molly Ringwald in a way? Molly Ringwaldish.
maybe, yeah, maybe a little bit, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
because of like you're thinking of her in 16 Candles or Pretty in Pink, the way she would act and talk and smile and stuff like
hmm
that. And there, it's the
yeah.
same kind of thing. Um, Joseph Fiennes played William Shakespeare. He
Yeah.
brought the young playwright to life and also recognized for his roles in Elizabeth in 1998 and the
hmm
television series The Handmaid's Tale, and like we said, known as Voldemort's brother.
Voldemort's brother. He was also Bassanio in The Merchant of Venice, which is
Yes.
good. I love. My wife gets tickled at me too because as crazy as I am and wild and the things I like, I'm a horror guy and I love comedies and stuff like that. But I really, really get into period pieces, and I absolutely love them. So real quick, Ralph Fiennes has not done. I'm not Ralph. Colin.
Joseph
We keep doing it. We
Fiennes.
keep on doing it. Can't help it. Joseph Fiennes does not have an enormous body of work by comparison to many other, upper echelon stars, but everything that he's been in is very good. He was in Stealing Beauty. He was in The Thought of You, like I said, Elizabeth Shakespeare in Love. He was Beowulf's voice in the Beowulf anime. There's a movie called Enemy at the Gates that if y'all haven't seen, go watch it. Oh my God, Enemy at the Gates is incredible. It's an old World War II movie about some snipers. It's got Joseph Fiennes and Jude Law in it, and it also
Mhm.
has our girl Rachel
Yeah.
Wise,
Yeah.
Ron Perlman, Bob Hoskins, Ed Harris. Like Enemy at the Gate is
Quite a few names.
awesome. Yeah. Killing Me Softly. He was Martin Luther in the Luther movie. If you get into that, like I said, Merchants of Venice, Man to Man. Just I mean, about everything I've ever seen him in. He does have movies I haven't seen. He played Camelot. He played Merlin in the 2011 Camelot series, which is also really, really, really good. Um, and he was Cardinal Timothy Howard in American Horror Story. Some people like the American Horror
I never got into
Stories.
the American Horror Stories. I never
Me and my
did.
daughter used to do before she stopped watching scary movies with me all the time because her fiance doesn't like them. It makes him nervous. He's like Tasha, but her and I do the AHS pretty heavily. But
Am I the only person when it comes to Joseph Fiennes in this movie? Am I the only person who was upset that when he got in the sword fight in the play, not one time did he point his sword at anybody and yell Avada
say have at.
Kedavra?
I thought you were going to go. How about the right? I
No,
don't know. I was like, there's something about his nose that isn't shaped right.
no, I was waiting for the Avada Kedavra.
Abracadabra!
He was going to be talking about well, who was the person he was talking about in the movie? I mean, in the play, it was um what was in I guess it was Juliet. Oh, that was his main person. He was acting opposite of, right?
Well, yeah, yeah. You had that, and then you had the character Lucutius,
Who's the bad guy?
uh, the
The
Earl or
one
whatever.
the one he was fighting swords with, sword fighting with at that point.
Oh, okay.
Which
So that's gonna be the Duke. What was his name?
the Duke of Earl.
The Duke, Duke, Duke of Rule.
We'll just leave it at the
Lord
Duke.
Wessex. It was Lord
Lord Wessex.
Wessex.
Lord
Lord
of
Wessex.
Wessex. The boy who lived, who come to die. Oh, that's enough Harry Potter references. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Um, I,
the boy
I,
who lived to
I
come to die.
couldn't help it. Jeffrey Rush played Philip Henslow.
My guy. That's my guy.
He acclaimed for his performance in the movie Shine in '96, and
Yeah,
very
he
well
played.
known as Captain Barbosa, as we said in the Pirates of the Caribbean series.
Yeah, so the movie Shine is. I think the movie Shine is probably the one that I really, really remember him from.
Hmm.
Um, but it wouldn't have been. I had seen him in other things. I think no, I watched Shine when it came out. This is what it is. I used to get him mixed up with Ed Wood all the time.
Okay.
So it may have been. I thought I was even another one. So Shine is the true story, I believe, of a pianist named David Helfgut, and he has like a mental breakdown or something, or something's going on with him where he just ain't riding ahead, man.
Yeah.
But he turns out to be just a genius pianist,
Well, if you quit
which
calling
is
him names,
really
maybe
really
he
cool.
wouldn't be so bad or anything. He wouldn't be
I
mad.
know, right?
I mean,
We'll call that man names like that. He was Harvier in Les Mis in '98 too. He was also in Elizabeth, which half the people in this movie was Elizabeth. No, I'm correct. I'm correct. He played Stephen Price in The House on Haunted Hill, which is one of my all-time favorite horror films, and that made me go back and watch Shine.
yeah.
But he's been in tons and tons of stuff too. But like I said, everybody's going to know him as Barbosa.
Yeah, it's hard for me to see him as anything else now.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, I wanted him to come out at any time to Shakespeare to Will,
Hmm.
and he keeps asking,
What
"Where is this play?
are
Where is
you
this play?"
doing?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Why ain't my
No,
pages
what
pay?
are you doing?
Why ain't my pages done yet? What are you doing?
Oh, he was great. So Jeffrey played Philip Henslow, who was owner of not the Curtain, but the other one, and I can't remember the name of. This is one of my top 10 favorite movies, and I can't remember the name of the daggum theater. But anyway, there were two theaters in town, and he was always in trouble over loans and stuff. Like when he first shows up, Mr. Finneman has got his feet held over the fire, held over like some coals, some
Yeah,
flames and stuff,
put
wanting his money.
said putting his feet
Go,
to the fire. He said,
yeah, he gonna cut his ear off. He told the dude to cut his ear off. Like he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And he's so funny too, because he's always telling people, like, people are freaking out. He's like, how are you gonna get the money, or how's this gonna work out? And he's like, I don't know, it's a mystery.
"It's a
And it's like,
mystery."
"Eh, don't worry, everything's gonna be fine. How do you know? I don't. It's a mystery." It's like all through the movie too.
Everybody says it's not just him. I believe
Yeah,
I believe Juliet says it at one point. Well, Juliet, uh, darn it,
Viola
um,
de
yeah,
Lesseps.
Viola. Yeah, I'm calling her by her stage name in the movie, but Viola. She
Mhm.
says the same thing at one point to him. She's, I don't know, Will. It's a mystery.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's a mystery.
Um, one person that you know what, I didn't know this was her when I watched it. I went back and saw the name later, but
Mhm.
I believe they refer to her as Dame Judy Dench, don't they?
They do. She got damed. So dame is the equivalent of sir or lord. A
Yeah.
dame is, yeah. So like basically, if you've been knighted in today's society, if you've been knighted, I think I could be misspeaking here, but I think to be a dame is pretty much the same thing as being a sir, being knighted.
Well, she played Queen Elizabeth in the movie.
And
Now, despite her limited screen time, her impactful performance of what little time she was in there gave her the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress.
yeah, but I mean, it's Judy Dench.
It is Judy
And
Dench.
she was too. She was like anytime she was on screen, she was the queen, man.
And let's throw it out there what she's most well known for, I do believe. She's
Agent M.
she's M. Yes, M in the James Bond franchise.
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Agent
Yeah.
M. And
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, she's played Queen Elizabeth a few times. I don't know if it's
Probably.
been on screen or uh on stage, but she's also played Queen Victoria too.
Now, I'm gonna look silly here for a minute. I'm gonna look stupid. It took me a few minutes to realize that this was
Yo,
Ben
she
Affleck.
was the Ariel in Riddick too. Remember?
The what?
She played the movie Riddick. Have you ever seen Riddick?
Yeah,
She was the Ariel in Riddick. Remember the lady that was helping him, and they tried to stab her, and she like floated across the open part of the thing.
I do believe so.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that was squirrel moment there, but yeah, that's just pretty
No.
cool. She's been in everything.
Yeah.
What were you about to say? I mean to break your train of
Oh,
thought there.
I was gonna say it took me when I was watching the movie. It took me a minute to realize that that was Ben Affleck in there playing Ned Allen.
Oh, really?
For some reason it did not set in because I didn't know he was. I would have figured, when you threw names out at me of who all was in the movie, that you wouldn't
Mhm.
have left out like Ben Affleck.
Oh, yeah, I had to leave a
But
few surprises in there.
but you didn't say anything about Ben, so I wasn't thinking about it, and I kept watching. I was like, finally, I was like, "That's Ben Affleck." I did not know he was in this movie. That's Ben Affleck. He's
That's
Batman.
hilarious. He's Batman.
He's Batman.
I'm Batman.
Not the Batman, but a
Not the
Batman.
Batman, but Batman.
Batman, yes. Yeah,
Lord Wessex has been in a few things too, hadn't he?
you know what? In this little brief thing I've got here, it didn't bring him up, but I'm going to the IMDb for the rest of the cast now.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about Lord Wessex. He was played by
Mr.
Colin
Colin
Firth.
Firth. Mr.
Yes,
Colin Firth. He did
and
something with some speeches. Wasn't he did the King's speech?
well,
He was in Bridget Jones too. It's
let us see. Bridget Jones' Diary, The King's Speech, Kingsman: The Secret Service. He was
oh, the
in.
Kingsman, yeah.
Yeah, he was in that. Um, sure, he's been in quite a few other movies.
Yeah. He
The Secret Garden, Supernova,
Nanny McPhee, I think.
1917, Mary Poppins Returns, Mamma Mia,
Mhm.
Here We Go Again,
Mamma Mia.
and
I've watched both of those.
probably the first Mamma Mia as well.
Those of y'all that haven't been longtime listeners wouldn't know, but I'm a huge musical fan too. It's like,
Uh,
you wouldn't think it. I'm a weirdo, man. So I've seen both of the Mamma Mias.
I'll say he was in Bridget Jones' Baby.
Hmm Love Actually. That's a pretty cool movie.
Now, has he done anything during our time frame here? Let's scroll down to the 80s and
Our
take a
time
quick look.
frame 1919 as Young Alexander, Dutch
Now,
Girls. He was on,
no, oh yeah, you're in the 80s now. Okay, my bad. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. He was in a movie called Camille. Looks like another timepiece. Lost Empires, a TV mini series. I might look that up. The Secret Garden. Oh wow, adult Colin Craven. That was a TV movie, but I think everybody from our time period has seen that.
Probably.
Probably.
Playmaker in 94.
How about Valmont? That's close to Voldemort.
Still not the same. TV miniseries, Pride and Prejudice. He was in that.
The English Patient. That one won a
Hey,
bunch of awards. I remember that year. The English Patient won a ton of awards, I believe.
and funny enough, he, of course, being in Shakespeare in Love in 98 and 99, he was in Blackadder Back and Forth, playing the role of.
William Shakespeare.
Yes, sir.
Ain't that something?
Anyway, that's
So yeah, he's
Colin
been in a few
Firth. Colin
things there.
Firth's been in, yeah, quite a few things for sure. Somebody else that stood out to me, and tell me if you recognize her from another movie, Imelda Staunton.
Imelda Staunton. No,
Do you see, are you looking at IMDb by any chance?
I
To
do
see her
happen to
pic.
be on
Look at her picture. Look at her face, and tell me if you recognize that face.
Imelda Staunton. I'm looking for her. And I don't even see her name.
You have to scroll down a little bit in the list of people. She's on the
Oh, there
left
she,
hand side.
there she be.
Does the face ring a bell
Oh, the
without click?
nurse. Yeah, she was the B word off of daggum Harry Potter.
There you go. Another Harry Potter reference.
Yeah, but she was
Uh,
actually in there.
yeah, yeah. She is Dolores Umbridge in the Harry Potter
Dolores
series.
Umbridge. That's her. She was my most hated bad guy.
Nobody anybody who liked Harry Potter did not have a care in the world for Dolores Umbridge. I'm telling you.
She did wonderful at that.
Yeah, she was.
She was in
It was
she was
very subtle things. Like she's really trying to speak real nice and polite, and
she was
sound
evil.
trying to sound petite or something when she really wasn't,
Yeah.
and definitely evil, no doubt for sure.
She was in Maleficent too. She was also in Much Ado About Nothing in 1993.
And she came out in the early '80s. She's not been acting for
Yes.
like well before that or anything.
Right.
Little TV series called BBC Two Playhouse was her very first thing. She did one episode of in '82. Ruth Mendel Mysteries, the Heat of the Day, the Play on One. A lot of TV performances, TV movies is what I'm seeing. until we get a little further up there, and then she kind of made a name for herself, I guess.
And she was Aunt Lucy in Paddington in Peru just last year.
Yeah.
And how about this? She played Queen Elizabeth II in the Crown TV series. So we're getting a lot of wraparounds. We're getting 74 degrees of Kevin Bacon. There was
I'm
another
not,
guy too that
and this isn't the first Shakespeare thing she's done. In 2005, she did an episode of a TV miniseries called Shakespeare Retold.
oh, right on. Yeah, that's
And
not
you
the guy I thought it was.
and you did
I thought
mention
the guy
Nanny
that played
McPhee, right?
Burbage. Yeah. Yeah, I thought Nanny McPhee.
Yeah.
I thought the guy that played Burbage. So Burbage,
Um,
excuse me. Burbage was the one that owned the other playhouse that was
yes.
that Will was messing. Well, everybody was messing with his wife. Oh, Tilney and everybody.
I guess let me get to him real quick. Nicholas. No, who was it again? I'm sorry.
What's that? Oh,
The
the guy
person
that played
who.
Burbage.
Yeah,
Oh, Martin Clunes. I thought I recognized him from something else, but I don't think I do actually.
Martin Clunes. Yes, I see the face now. He's got one of them faces. That
Yeah.
makes you think of other people. Um, we mentioned ties with other movies, and of course, Harry Potter and this movie have quite a few tie-ins with stars.
Yes.
The brother of Joseph Fiennes, then the mother
Yes.
Staunton, and also Ron Weasley's father, which he
Yes.
was the one who was the
He
stuttering
stuttered.
actor.
Yeah, it was so good.
And I'm trying to remember what his name is. I don't see his picture.
Yeah. What?
I guess it wasn't a big enough part to, draw just putting his picture
Yeah,
up
but
there
you
like
would
that
think
and
would it
everything.
be an IMDb? It'd have his photo up. Was it
Well, I mean,
Wabash?
once
Was it Mark
you have
Williams?
to click on all cast and crew,
It's
you'll
Mark
get him.
Williams. He played Wabash.
So Mark Williams.
Yeah, Mark Williams.
Let's see, Mark Williams. Yep, there he is. He got his picture and everything on there. when his when that first started,
Two households.
yes,
It's like,
it's like Mel Tillis all of a sudden, and then he's perfectly fine, like he's singing, but
I love it when he
he's
come
giving his stuff.
backstage and like and Shakespeare grabbed him up and he goes, "My God, man," or whatever it was he said, and he goes, "Was it good?"
Yeah.
That's what I
Oh,
loved about it. I feel like see, and that's I think one of the reasons that it's in my top 10 movies. One of the reasons why I love it so much is because when you talk about the good stories and throughout history, you have everything in this story. You have love, you have murder, you have action, you have comedy, you have tragedy and sorrow, and like everything is there. And the comedy kind of runs in throughout. It's like it keeps you laughing. It's like just everything is there. I feel like it was done so magnificently. I love the visuals in it. With it surprises me that it was 25 million to make because the sets and the doggone um wardrobe was just so phenomenal. Like
right.
I was just mind blown by it. I love every aspect of this movie. The writing, it was written well, it was acted well, it looked good. It was to be a 2 hour long movie, it doesn't feel like it's a 2 hour long movie when you're watching it. It's just, phenomenal. Everything is all the pieces are in place for this one to me.
So, so there was only one other person I want to bring up. Then I want to throw some questions at you.
Hmm.
Tim Wilkinson played Hugh Finneman.
Hmm.
I was looking at that going, where do I know him from?
Hmm.
Where? And I finally figured it out.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Mel Gibson movies, Patriot.
Mm.
He's the one that plays General Cornwallis, I think it is,
Oh, okay.
in the movie.
Heck
I
yeah.
think it was Cornwallis. I'm gonna click on his name to make sure, so I'm not wrong on that. But I know he played the general for the
He was kind of funny to me too, the way he was, because he was the one that was holding uh he was the one that was holding my man's feet to the fire. Henslow, he was the one holding his feet to the fire. He was the debt man, the debt collector,
was,
the
was
bank
he the
robber.
one?
Yeah, yeah. Remember, he asked him to play the apothecary, or however you say it,
Apothecary?
apothecary.
Yeah,
And he went from like, he's watching over the production to make sure he gets his money, to being totally vested. Like everybody did that too. So they're expecting the comedy, a bit with a dog and this and that, and
yeah,
everybody involved is like waiting for all the comedy. They're waiting for everything to come together. And because it also presents this is the first time that a true tale of love has been told, a tragedy or a romance or whatever, and
right.
done properly. There was actually a bet between
Wessex.
Elizabeth and Wessex, yeah, as to whether or not a true story of love could be
Fifty
told.
pounds, I believe it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
He tried to say 50 shillings, I believe, in the end.
yeah. He did. He did. He tried to, but yeah, that's it
By
was
the way,
funny
I
to me
was
to see how
right.
everybody got invested into the movie. I mean, into the play.
Yeah. Oh, I was right, by the way. It's General Lord Charles Cornwallis he played. And
Okay.
there's something else you'll know him from as well. In Rush Hour, he was Juntao
Okay. Help me
Griffin.
out, Dad.
So those are the two big places that I think I knew him from and remembered him from for sure.
Hmm.
Anything else would just been I wouldn't have known it, without looking to see. He reminded me of somebody else from a TV show, but it's not him. I get him and somebody else confused with each other. Two totally different people though. So
Yeah.
anyway, couple of questions to toss out there at you. Get your
Okay.
thoughts on that. See here. So the quite a few supporting actors in this
Hmm.
movie that did such good jobs and everything, but which supporting character stood out the most to you, and why did they stand out?
Oh well, if you know, if it have to be Henslow, Jeffrey Rush, all the way. So if I take him out of the conversation, since I already said him, I would say that I would say if, I'm going to base it on, if you took him out of the movie, it wouldn't be the same. Um, and I'm going to say I'm going to go with Fenneman, and you got to pick somebody else other than Simon Callow to get to play him. But I got to throw Tilney out there too, because Tilney was the one trying to shut the playhouses down and, speak for the queen and stuff like that. It's hard to pick too, because then you got to throw the queen in there too. I mean,
Well, but right, but you
the
just
supporting cast was strong.
it was. That's why the question is like if you had to pick one
Yeah,
and
I got to go with
and
Henslow.
why that one. So
I got to go with Jeffrey Rush as Henslow. I got to go with him, because I feel like you could have. I feel like as awesome as Dame Judy Dench was, as awesome as everybody else was, for me, Jeffrey Rush as Henslow, just that's the topper. He was hilarious for all the little funny moments and quirky moments you had. He made the movie for me.
yeah.
How about yourself?
Um, you know, I'm not sure that I have one because this is the first time I've seen it. So I mean, I
Yeah,
wasn't really I'm not 100% invested in it like you are 'cause it's one of your favorites.
right.
That's why I thought it'd be a good question for you because you've seen it so many times. I think I would figure you'd have to have one for sure that stood out.
Yeah.
I get why you say Jeffrey Rush because he's always in the movie. Here every few minutes he pops up.
Hmm.
And if it's just for a simple moment of asking where are my papers, where are my pages,
Yeah.
or whatever he's doing, he's always in there. If I had to go with a second one though to back it up, it'd probably be Tom Wilkinson playing Finneman.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he kept the pressure on too, as far as he kept the pressure on Jeffrey Rush to. So you had that whole overline or underline thing too of Henslow and Fenneman going back and forth, because so now Henslow's all over Shakespeare for his for his pages, and then Fenneman's all over him for, my money, and then you throw the other dude in there, Burbage. Throw Burbage in there, and he's telling him he got an advance from him. I think it was, wasn't it? He told,
Yeah, I
he
believe
got an
so.
advance for another play for him. Like
Right.
they were all wheeling and dealing and backdooring by. Like it was good.
Do you think that Joseph Fiennes did a good job of making you understand what William Shakespeare would have been like, possibly? Because it's a fictional thing about him and everything.
Right.
Like, but does he do a good job in your eyes of
He
portraying him?
does, and the beauty of it to me is like, especially as you grow older and you learn things about people, and as you has as we have, I'll just take life experience away from it and say through the show, we've interviewed some people that we are surprised and thankful and humbled for being able to interview, and learning that these stars are regular people, you know they're special people. Not everybody can't do what they do, but at the same time they're humans. We're all
Mhm.
human. So it puts him in, it's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like comparing it to this this might be extreme, but Passion of the Christ, where oh, come on, he's one of the greatest actors that ever lived. Help me out. Do you know who I'm talking about? He played
About,
Jesus.
um,
uh
yeah.
He was in Boondock Saints. He was the Green Goblin. He's like, this one of the greatest actors of all time, and I can't remember his name, but anyway, he
It
portrayed
was
that.
in the it was in the Green Goblin as well.
He was the Green Goblin in Spider-Man. He was
Oh,
in
that was
The
that.
Hunter. I know his name as well as I know my own.
Apparently not. Neither one of us do.
I know. Well, you see, I'm felonious and made us tonight.
Uh
Inmatus.
huh. And apparently I've slept. So,
So
um,
anyway,
but
but it shows you that, it
are
shows
you
you him
talking
in a
now?
human light.
Are you talking about Jim Caviezel, or
No.
that's the guy that played in Passion of the Christ?
He no, he's not. Well, he may
Yeah, it
have been in
is.
it, but he wasn't Jesus. Oh
Yes, he
no, not
was.
the I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I said the Passion of the Christ. I meant the Last Temptation.
The Last Temptation. So are
The
you
Last
okay?
Temptation of Christ is what I meant to say. I don't know why I said the Passion, but I meant the Last Temptation of Christ. And this great actor, who I'm ashamed that I can't remember his name, is Willem Dafoe.
Willem
So
Dafoe.
I'm sorry, Willem. But anyway, with it showing you that, you can have that kind of, you can imagine that that's how it would have been. You can imagine, you can see that, because it's showing him before he got in all these, it's showing him right in that point of time where he's climbing into these social circles, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I could totally, I think it was perfect. And the fact that if you look at the pictures and all, even though Shakespeare had that little bald head on him, uh Ralph, quit doing that. Joseph's jawline, uh his look kind of, it kind of resembled Shakespeare a little bit.
All right. Um, do you think that let's see, the this says the movie plays with the idea that Shakespeare found real life inspiration for Romeo and Juliet. Do you think the idea enhances or oversimplifies the creative process in the movie?
Oh no, it totally, that's why the movie's so good. That I feel, to me, that's what makes it so spectacular, is the fact that he's basing this on his relationship with Viola, and the tragedy that comes through it, and at the end, you know uh where the bet was made was, she was Queen Elizabeth was basically interviewing before she gave her blessings. She was basically interviewing Gwyneth Paltrow to before she gave her blessing to marry Wessex. And she's talking about seeing her at the playhouse all the time. And she said, I thought that was funny too. She's like, just for the players to act for me. And she said, well, let's get it straight. They act for me, not you. But she told her,
Right.
they said she said she wanted poetry in her life and stuff like that. And Queen Elizabeth told her that love can't truly be represented in the playhouse, because love is tragedy. And then she said, oh, but there's one, I believe there's one who can. And so that's how the whole bet got started. And then when you wrap around to the end of the movie, here comes Queen Elizabeth in uh in secret garb to cover her likeness, sitting here watching the play, and she said, "No, well, he did it." So, but she told him too. She said something. How about something a little less drab next time? Perhaps a comedy.
Right. One thing I've noticed, and I don't know if I agree with it or not. You might, but the film won Best Picture at the Oscars in 1999. Do you remember who it beat out for Best Picture?
Who did it beat out?
Saving Private Ryan.
Ooh,
That was
ooh,
such a great
ooh.
movie, and I'm not so sure that I can agree with
I don't know if I
Shakespeare
can
in
agree with.
Love beating Saving Private Ryan for that.
Yeah, I don't know if I can agree with that either. I mean, even though Saving Private Ryan is probably not in my top 10, I still, for especially for what this hobby that you and I have gotten here of watching these movies. We've done this. We've watched so many just in life, but went back and watched through more rewatched movies that we have watched. It's gotten me to where I do a lot of analyzing when I'm
Mhm.
watching a movie, and a lot of different aspects of it. So I would have to say that I'm going to have to agree with you on that. I'm not sure I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I can agree with it beating Saving Private Ryan. I mean, because
No,
Saving Private Ryan was pretty incredible.
I definitely understand what you're saying on it for sure. One last question. One last question, then we're gonna wrap up
Yeah,
on this one.
I like it.
The movie Shakespeare in Love. We talked about there being other movies similar to it out there and everything. How do you compare? How do you feel it compares to other films about Shakespeare, such as Anonymous and Elizabeth?
It's my
Elizabeth
favorite.
was 98. Anonymous was
Yeah,
2011.
it beats them. For me, it beats them because of the entertainment value, the romanticism, and I don't mean just romantic as far as I use that word as in the romanticism of it taking you away and making you think about something and romanticizing about this story being a possibility that it did happen like this, or just being able to fantasize about that, you know, it makes it more fun. And I feel like if someone were to see this, and you grow up hearing about Shakespeare, you learn about him in school, but then if you were to watch this movie, you're like, yo, this was dope, let me go check out some Shakespeare. And then you get into something like Hamlet and Macbeth and things like this, and then you really do realize, I feel like the movies bring, for us and our attention spans and our the way that we are in today's society, I really do feel like the movies do it more justice, because you don't have people that love the stage like that. And that's another thing about this movie that makes it so special. It brought in so much of the stage into the cinema.
I got
It
something for
married
you.
both.
Since you
Okay.
brought that up, I was gonna make that the last question, but since you explained it that way, if Shakespeare in Love were made today, do you think it would have the same impact? And if not, or if anything, would any changes be necessary to make it have that same impact today?
I don't think it would, just because of the way times change. It may. I can't say that it may, because there are things that come out that
Think about
are
it for a second.
surprises.
Think about it for a second. What movie just came out to theater recently that was the one of the biggest Broadway plays in a long time?
Yeah. So I don't know, but
Wicked.
oh God, yeah,
So I mean, it's not that people
100%,
are against stage plays or anything right now. People are still embracing them and taking them in and watching them, and it
hundred
just so
percent.
happens they made this into a movie because there was so much of a demand for the
And
thing.
the movies that, oh, well, see, that's what I was getting at too. I feel like the movies would be a gateway, because I feel like, so Wicked was one of the biggest Broadway plays there was. Like Wicked and Cat. When I think of Broadway, I think of Wicked and Cats.
Hmm.
Pretty much. There are a few other ones, but like Les Mis was huge. The Phantom of the Opera. Well, I can go on, but anyway, that was the point of what I was saying though, is that I feel like these films doing it in cinematography will bring people to the stage. Like if you were to come out, if they were to rework and redo Wicked now and go on a tour, like maybe after the second one comes out, it's going to sell out every night everywhere, because people are going to want to see it. And you take things like Hamlet, the Hamlet's been done quite a few times, but I think it may have been Macbeth, but I'm pretty sure it was Hamlet that we just mentioned earlier, The Patriot, that Mel Gibson played in. Phenomenal movie. The Les Mis movie was a Broadway play or Broadway show, Broadway musical, whatever. And you bring the Les Mis movie into play, and Les Mis blew up after the movie came out. They were started redoing it and replaying it, exactly like what I was just saying about how they could do Wicked.
Right.
So yeah, 100%. And that's what I say. I think no, it would do just as good. But the difference in this movie and those movies, to me, is like I said, it actually pulled the stage into the cinematography. So it was about the actors and the players. They called them the players then. So it was about the players, but the movie actually, the star of the movie was the playhouse. It was it was the play, which was that was actually central to the movie. And I don't think the other movies, I don't can't think of another movie that does that in that manner.
Mm, me neither. Absolutely. All right. Well, I guess we'll go and start wrapping things up on this one. Then I'm glad you brought this to my attention. You were right. I liked it.
Heck yeah.
You tell me I would like it, and I did. I did say I would watch it again if I found it on or something, or just wanted something to see that I haven't seen in a while.
Hmm.
Not my top 10,
Right. No,
but
that's
but
fine. That's a hundred
everybody's
percent
different.
respectable. Hundred
Everybody's
percent
different.
respect.
Right. Right. So I mean, I thought it was
We've
good.
been so hey, so y'all know too that we've been back and forth. The last few movies we've picked that the other one hasn't seen. Each one of us has been like, man. So we finally got one that we both really liked. So that's
I
good.
mean, it's it's like you said before. Everybody's got their own taste and stuff, right? And
Yeah.
you know, there's some that neither one of us had watched that we were both surprised that we liked.
Yeah.
Like when I've
Arena.
brought it up several times, Arena, and when neither one of us ever seen Arena, and we wasn't too sure about this, but it turned out to be pretty decent for
Hmm.
a movie at its time when it came out. So there's always just keep in mind when you guys are, looking through some of these movies to stream these days, and you're looking and you see something you don't recognize the title from, but the description sounds like it might be pretty good. Don't hesitate to play it.
Yeah. No doubt.
Go ahead and play it and watch it. What's the worst that happens? You get 15, 20 minutes into it, you lose that 15 minutes of your life and you
Yeah.
turn it off. But you start it and you get to watching it, you might realize, whew, I'm glad I started this. I didn't pass up on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's been
There's been a
quite a
few
few
like that.
movies, quite a few B movies for me in my lifetime were like that. I
A
wasn't
hundred
too sure I
percent.
would like them because those
You
B
start
movies.
watching. Well, you start watching a Treat Williams movie. Give it 20 minutes. You got to give it
Mhm.
20 because that first 10 or 15 is gonna be like, what? But I'm gonna tell you right now, any Treat Williams movie, you're gonna dig
What's
it.
that movie with him and Joe Piscopo together? What's that? Dead
Oh,
Heat?
Dead Heat.
Is it
Yeah.
Dead Heat? Yeah, Dead Heat. Wasn't Treat Williams also in the?
The
There's
substitute or the teacher. No, that was Behringer, wasn't it?
Behringer. Well, Treat Williams was also in some of the later ones.
Okay, that's what I
Behringer
thought.
Behringer started the series, The Substitute.
That's what it
Also,
was.
this one where there was this. Oh my gosh, he has the. All right, so there's a guy from The Mummy that is a. He plays Benny in The Mummy.
Oh, Benny. Yeah, I love Benny.
All right, so yeah, so
Right
there's
now, no,
another.
right now.
Stop it. There's another. There's another movie with that guy and Treat Williams in it together. They're partners,
Mhm.
and there's this ship that's out at sea. I don't know if it's
Was
Ghost
that
Ship
Deep
or
Rising?
something.
Was that
Deep
Deep Rising?
Rising. There you go. Deep Rising.
Yeah,
Treat Williams. I
Treat
mean,
Williams, man.
great. Not a top notch actor, but puts nothing out but good movies. It seems like
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, you watch anything with Treat Williams in it, you're gonna be treated.
he is a. He also is a reoccurring character on Blue Bloods, I believe. So that
Oh,
was
cool.
always good.
he is a treat to watch.
A great treat to watch. He was. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap this up. Don't forget, if this is your first time listening to us, to go ahead and subscribe to us and follow us. You can, if it's iTunes, you can give us a review on there for us. That helps a lot. If you're listening to us on Spotify, give us that 5-star rating on there. Uh, YouTube. We are on YouTube, and if you watch us on there, make sure you follow us, subscribe, click the little bell notification in the top right so that you know when we have a new episode that comes out. And we have a web page you can go to. You can listen to us straight from the browser. or you can go into show notes and click on the video in the show notes. And that's at www.retrolife, the number 4, the letter u.com. And Travis, where can they email us if they have a question or a comment?
Well, that would be the same, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be retro life for you
At
at
gmail.com?
gmail.com? Yeah.
You know
Retro
what?
life for you. That's retro life, the number 4 YOU at gmail.com.
See, this is why I have him, people. This is why I have him, because he's like, he's dependable. He's
There you
money.
go. It's
He doesn't
money
fall. He
every
doesn't fall
time.
asleep. He doesn't fall asleep
Money.
when he's supposed to be recording. He don't fall asleep until
Yeah. He
he's
has
wide
been known to
awake.
he has been known to get drunk and Chris be like, "No, you're in no shape."
He, but he wasn't asleep though. That's the whole point. He
Well, yeah,
wasn't asleep.
wasn't asleep though.
Matter of fact, he was ready to go. I had message after message after message after message. Are we doing this? Are we doing this? You send the link. Are we doing this?
I
And I
wasn't that
felt
bad. I messaged you about 4 or 5 times and then let it. I was like, my wife told me, she said he probably fell asleep, babe. I said, well, he has been at that new job for a couple weeks, and it's
uh,
you know,
no, it's bad. I've been there for a few months. I'm still
few
doing it. So,
months. Yeah,
but anyway,
heck
all
yeah.
right. Travis, anything to leave us with this week before we move to
Yeah,
the
quick
next one?
story I thought was interesting as to how it kind of pertains to this. So, my daughter's in college and she's in a fast track to become a doctorate. So she's basically skipping. This is for real. Some colleges
Hmm.
do this. She went for a 4-year degree, so she's got her bachelor's. Then she goes back and she doesn't get out at all. She just goes all the time. And in another 2.5 years, she's going to come out with her doctorate. Well, as it pertains to to the show tonight, it was pretty wild. I was on eBay and I found a pencil that William Shakespeare had used, and I thought, well, this would be super cool, man. So I got that for my daughter to maybe write one of her reports in and everything. But when we got a hold of it, she couldn't use it, and I was like, well, what do you mean you can't use it? She said, well, it looks like he chewed on it a lot, and I can't tell if it's to be or not to be.
That's so terrible.